most people probably saw The Irishman. Maybe it took them one shot. Maybe they broke it into 2 sittings. But that's got to be one of the most impressive movies I've seen in a while. And you played the role of Fat Tony Salerno. I think it was like later on when he was maybe close to death or like back in jail or something. And you had to wear a ton of prosthetics for this role. I'm just going to show the people what you had to look like, because it's really it's unbelievably impressive, the transformation that you had to go through. You were unrecognizable to a lot of your fellow. So that's you normally, obviously, and then let's see what you had to. Boom! This is what you had to look like to play the character. What was it like to get this much stuff put on your face?
That was towards pretty much probably towards the end of his life. He was quite up there. There was, I think, 3 different phases of makeup. Roughly, I think anywhere from 23 to 25 different pieces to make up that whole thing there.
Wow.
And basically after every work day, it all comes out, it gets thrown in the garbage. And then Mike Marino would have all the pieces on like a dummy that we molded early on. So it was very important to stay the same weight. It was very important not to like lose weight, gain weight, to stay the same, because everything was based on those measurements from that particular time. So now when they put it on the dummy, they basically just transferring it on, and then it kind of just gels all together. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
I can't believe that they don't reuse any of these pieces here.
No, just the wig, just the wig stuff. But as far as all the skin stuff, no, those are all separate pieces. That's not like one complete thing. It's piece here, piece for the chin, piece for the nose, piece that goes underneath the eyes, piece for the ears, the neck, especially like the jowls here.
Wow. Yeah.
Probably up to here.
Holy cow. Even though you had like a crew neck shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supposedly you had to wake up at get there at 3:30 in the morning to start this whole process.
Yeah, we get there around 4 hours before everybody else, before crew call.
What would you do while this was all being put on you? Like, would you get bored?
No, I mean, I had Mike Marino, his crew. We had our own little trailer. We had a good time. We knew we were going to be there for 4 hours. So I would do like 2.5 hours straight. Then I would get up, go outside, get some fresh air, come back in, and then we would finish up. But they were great companions.
Wow. And you had to gain weight for this role. You had to
gain a certain amount of weight. I got up to a certain weight, and I think it was maybe 235 up to that point or something like that, 230. And then still had to use like a fat suit. Wow. But I the more I gained, the less I had to.
Fat suit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could see a fat suit on somebody when they're skinny, I just wanted it to kind of gel together to like morph in pretty evenly. And that's basically the weight that I was able to get to. Yeah. That was off time. Yeah.
No, that's really, really cool. That's really impressive. What and here's another view. This is you here. Wow.
Mike Marino, yeah.
Yeah, and Mike Marino is the makeup artist here. So he's even he's putting makeup all over your head. This is amazing.
He does everybody. He's I think like one of 3 people who do this.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
That's really neat. How did it feel to work with, Scorsese and De Niro and Pacino and Pesci, were you freaking out? I mean, you're such a professional. You have such a long career. You've been like steadily working since like the early 90s. So I'm sure you weren't like, super nervous, but again, these are some of the all-time greats.
Yeah, I had a relationship with De Niro prior to this. But working with Joe, working with Marty, there were projects that I worked that I was affiliated with, that Marty was affiliated with, but I've never worked with him on a personal level like that. So to work with him and to work with Joe and also Bob and my friend Steven, and I mean, I had a lot of friends on this movie that I mean, most of my scenes were with Bob and Joe, but it was good to see a few actor friends of mine that were in this movie. But
how long was the shooting process for, like, that you were involved
in? They kind of grouped everything in for me 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay. That's not bad.
3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. How did you prepare for this role? I mean, could you compare it to any other role that you've done in terms of like preparation?
This, and when you're playing an actual person, it was important for me to get his mannerisms, to his temperament. I wanted to know how he sat in a chair, how he smoked a cigar, which he basically chewed, which got me freaking sick.
Oh God!
And then I also did. I played Jack Maple on the Deuce, who was also a real person, and it was important for me to get. It's different. There's certain things that you want. There's certain, maybe the way they walk, maybe their temperament, their voice, just something that like a hook that brings you back, and then part of you, and it kind of morphs into something. And you don't want to mimic somebody. You have to bring, for me, I have to bring some of myself into there, because that brings the emotions and makes it. I try to make it as truthful as possible.
Because if you mimic somebody, I imagine it could possibly come off as like, I don't know, not condescending, but like less authentic or less genuine. Is that why you don't want to like mimic?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's just not part of the procedure for me. It's just there's certain things that I can't par with that person. How they sat in the chair, how they would drink, were they hot-headed, were they calm, did they look at you when they spoke to you, or were they shy, were they all these little, and on Fat Tony there really wasn't much to go on. There wasn't a lot of footage on it. There was like one footage of him being arrested. Other than that, there really wasn't much.
So then, in a way, you can like bring more of yourself to it, because you got to make up for it somehow. Like if there's not a ton of footage.